Hi, I'm Molly. I've been married to Daniel for 12 years now, and we have two amazing kids, Emma, who's 10, and little Jake, who just turned 7. Our life in Chicago wasn't perfect, but it was ours, until my mother-in-law decided to wage her silent war through my children. The kids are so excited to see Grandma tomorrow. Mom's been asking about them all week. She even mentioned baking Emma's favorite cookies. I nodded, ignoring the knot in my stomach. What I didn't say was how Margaret never extended that warmth to me. From day one, I wasn't good enough for her precious son. Saturday morning came, and we drove to her suburban house. There are my darlings. Margaret rushed out, arms wide for the kids, completely bypassing me. Hi, Margaret. We brought that salad you like. She barely glanced at it. Oh, thanks. I already made plenty, but we can find space for it somewhere. Inside, Margaret's house was spotless as always. Emma, sweetie, let me fix your hair. Doesn't your mom ever brush it properly? I bit my tongue as Emma looked at me uncertainly. My mommy does my hair every morning. Well, Grandma can show you how it should be done. When Jake accidentally spilled juice, Margaret's reaction was swift. Careful. Don't you teach them to use cups at home? It was just an accident, Mom. Of course it was. Poor thing probably doesn't get enough attention at home to learn proper manners. The kids have excellent manners, Margaret. Jake is still learning. Children need consistency and discipline. When Daniel was his age, he never made these mistakes. During lunch, the jabs continued. Emma, you're getting a little pudgy, aren't you? Maybe less pasta, more vegetables? I watched my daughter's face fall as she put down her fork. Her doctor says she's perfectly healthy. Doctors these days are so worried about feelings they don't tell the truth anymore. On the drive home, both kids were unusually quiet. You okay back there? Am I bad, Mommy? Jake whispered. What? No, honey. Why would you think that? Grandma said I don't listen good enough. Daniel glanced at me. Mom can be a little old-fashioned, buddy. That night I caught Emma examining herself in the bathroom mirror, pinching her stomach. What are you doing, sweetie? She jumped. Nothing. As I tucked them in, I realized this wasn't the first time. Jake had started apologizing for everything, and Emma had become more self-conscious. Daniel, we need to talk about your mother. What now? She was just trying to help. Help? She's hurting our kids. Didn't you see how they acted afterward? You're being too sensitive. That's just how Mom is. I stared at the ceiling, knowing something had to change. And if Daniel wouldn't see it, I'd handle it myself. The next 2 weeks were eye-opening. Emma stopped raising her hand in class, and Jake started biting his nails till they bled. When I found Emma throwing away her lunch untouched 3 days in a row, I knew something deeper was happening. Sweetie, talk to me. Why aren't you eating? Grandma says only fat girls eat all their lunch. My blood boiled. What else does Grandma say when I'm not around? She says you married Daddy for his money, and that you're not smart enough to raise us right. That same day, Jake had a meltdown over his shoelaces. Grandma says boys who can't tie their shoes right are stupid. She says I get that from your side of the family. I called Daniel at work immediately. We need to talk about your mother, now. When he got home, I laid it all out. Your mother is telling our kids I'm a gold digger. She's calling Jake stupid and making Emma think she's fat. Mom's from a different generation. She doesn't mean anything by it. Doesn't mean anything? Our kids are falling apart. Emma's not eating, and Jake cried for an hour over his shoelaces. You're blowing this out of proportion. Love doesn't tear down a child's self-esteem. This isn't love, it's abuse. Don't use that word. She'd never abuse them. Emotional abuse is still abuse, Daniel. He walked away, conversation over. The following weekend, I visited Sarah, Daniel's aunt, who always treated me kindly. I've been meaning to talk to you, Sarah said. At the last family dinner, Margaret was saying some concerning things. About me? She told everyone you're unstable and controlling, that you're turning the kids against her. She's the one hurting them with her comments. I figured as much. Margaret did similar things to Daniel's first girlfriend in college. That poor girl ended up with an eating disorder. When Daniel's birthday came around, Margaret insisted on hosting. I prepared the kids beforehand. If Grandma says anything that makes you sad, come tell me right away. The party started smoothly until Margaret cornered the kids in the kitchen. I stayed just out of sight, my phone recording. Emma, that dress makes you look like a stuffed sausage. Don't they feed you properly at home? And Jake, stand up straight. You slouch just like your mother, no class at all. But Mommy says I'm perfect just how I am. Your mommy lies to you because she doesn't know better. She wasn't raised right, not like your daddy. Daniel walked in carrying plates. His face went white. Mom? What did you just say to my kids? Just having a little chat with my grandbabies? I heard you. Every word. Margaret's eyes darted between us, realizing she'd been caught. The mask had finally slipped, and Daniel had seen what was underneath. The drive home from Daniel's birthday party was dead silent. Once the kids were in bed, the dam broke. I can't believe my mother would say those things. I'm so sorry. I've been telling you for months. This recording isn't even the worst of it. I showed him my phone where I'd been documenting everything. Dates, times, exact quotes. I started keeping records 3 weeks ago. Look at this pattern. His face crumbled as he scrolled through dozens of entries. Why didn't I see it? Because she's careful. She's been doing this your whole life. The next morning, I called Sarah. Daniel finally saw his mother's true colors. I need your help with something bigger. Come over. There's someone you should meet. At Sarah's house, I was surprised to find Robert Margaret's own brother. Sarah told me what's happening. It's the same old Margaret. Robert sighed. She did this to our younger sister until she moved across the country. She drove away her own sister? Margaret has always needed someone to tear down. When we were kids, it was our sister, then her roommates, then her co-workers. The family reunion next month. That's your chance, Sarah suggested. Everyone will be there. I've got 3 recordings already, but I need more evidence. I'll help, Robert offered. She acts differently when she thinks family has her back. Over the next 2 weeks, we set our trap. I installed a recording app. Sarah and Robert strategically mentioned my parenting in front of Margaret. Those kids seem awfully undisciplined, Robert would prompt. You have no idea that Molly lets them run wild. Poor Daniel married beneath him. The family reunion arrived. 40 relatives gathered at Uncle Pete's lake house. Before dinner, I connected my phone to the TV. Everyone grab seats! Molly's showing pictures, Sarah announced. When the room was full, I pressed play. The first clip showed Margaret telling Emma she was getting chunky like your mother. The second was her promising Jake that Grandma can help you be smarter than your mom wants you to be. Gasps filled the room. Margaret leapt up. That's taken out of context. I played the third clip. Margaret telling Robert, those kids would be better off if Daniel had married someone from a decent family. This is a setup. No, Mom, this is the truth. Daniel stood beside me. You will not speak to my wife or my children that way ever again. One by one, family members shared their experiences. A lifetime of Margaret's cruelty finally exposed. Mom, until you get professional help and make genuine amends, you won't be seeing us or the children. For once, Margaret had nothing to say. 3 weeks after the family reunion, Margaret showed up at our front door clutching a gift bag. I've come to apologize to the children. They're not home. I blocked the doorway. And they wouldn't be available even if they were. Molly, please. I'm trying to make amends. Are you? Or are you trying to save face because no one in the family will take your calls anymore? Margaret's forced smile twitched. I've had time to reflect on my behavior. 2 weeks isn't reflection, it's damage control. She thrust the gift bag forward. I brought Emma a new dress. Size small, not medium like you buy her. I nearly laughed. Even her apology contained an insult. You still don't get it. This isn't about one comment or one day. This is about years of cruelty. Daniel appeared behind me. Mom, we told you to get professional help first. I don't need a therapist telling me how to be a grandmother. Then you don't need to be in our lives, Daniel replied. Margaret's phone rang. She glanced at it, then grimaced. Robert and Sarah have been poisoning everyone against me. Even the church committee dropped me. The next day, Robert visited with old family photo albums. Found these in the attic. Thought you might want to see who Margaret used to be before she became this. We flipped through faded pictures of a young Margaret with her siblings. What happened to make her so bitter? I asked. Nothing dramatic, just small choices, day after day, to be cruel rather than kind. By the time anyone noticed the pattern, it was baked in. Robert pointed to a woman in one photo. That's our sister Janice. Margaret told her she'd never find a husband because of her weight. Janice ended up with an emotionally abusive man just to prove Margaret wrong. A week later, Sarah organized a picnic for the extended family. Everyone came, except Margaret. We haven't had a peaceful family gathering in 20 years, Uncle Pete remarked, watching the kids play. Remember Thanksgiving 2018? Cousin Lisa added. Margaret told my daughter her science project was embarrassing the family. She convinced my son he wasn't college material, another cousin chimed in. He believed her for years. By summer's end, Margaret had attempted 3 more apologies, each more revealing than the last. The children need their grandmother, she insisted during her final visit. What they need is safety and respect, I countered. I'm family. You can't keep me away forever. Watch me. Daniel stepped forward. You did this to yourself, Mom. The door isn't locked, but the key is genuine change, not manipulation. As months passed, Emma started eating normally again. Jake's anxiety eased. At Emma's 11th birthday party, surrounded by family who truly loved them, both kids laughed without looking over their shoulders. You know what Jake told me yesterday? Daniel said as we watched them. He said he doesn't feel stupid anymore. They're healing. We all are. Meanwhile, Margaret sat alone in her perfect house, sending occasional texts that no one answered. She'd spent a lifetime cultivating cruelty, and now she was reaping exactly what she'd sown. Complete and utter isolation, with no one left to hurt but herself. What would you have done in Molly's position? Would you have completely cut Margaret out of your children's lives, or given her another chance with strict boundaries? Is permanent estrangement ever the right answer when dealing with toxic family members, especially grandparents? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've experienced similar situations with family members who hurt your children with their words, how did you handle it? If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up to toxic behavior. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is protect those we love, even when it means making difficult choices.